Hi, I'm Trey, and this is my channel on YouTube and Odyssey. Trey's Myths and Tones, and this is Trey's timeless 15 minutes of explain. Today, my discussion is about gnosis and the three brains. And again, come on, guys. Saturday, almost every Saturday, could you be more obvious? And your atmospheric river takeover scams, huh? Huh, Mr. Mean Guys? Could you be a little more obvious, huh? Well, I may make you feel, but I can't make you think. When your sperm's in the gutter, when your love is in the sink. 'Cause my suntan will rapidly pass, and your wise men don't know how it feels to be thick as a brick. So, when you consider the amount of damage that was intentionally done to most of our heart-brain connection, our gut-brain connection, again, this is if you're not being responsible with your physical health, dietary discipline, eating organic, eating simply. It's very key for me to heal. If I eat complex, sometimes it triggers the illness or inflammation to come back. Um, Many fat people keep binging, and it's not simply because their parasites, intestinal worms, are making them, and their candidas are making them have to feed more sugars and eat more. Of course, that's a factor. But it's, of course, also because they're not eating any nutrients. Very rarely, if they're real obese, they might have a glandular deficiency, or eating the wrong type of things for their blood type. But the number one thing is that they're probably not getting any nutrients and all those carb. It's mostly going to be carbohydrates, sugars, or low grade meat or questionable chemicals. And that's the thing. All the chemicals and all that adds to girth. So particularly the hydrogenated oils, of course, and that's part of me. That's part of me. So coffee can be both good and dangerous, deadly. It depends on the quality of the coffee. If you have some organic cold brew, there was a very high quality of bean, lightly roasted. It has an antioxidant. It's pretty much the highest antioxidant that the average American on the standard American diet, which I call the SAD plan, is some Folgers. So it really makes me wonder what happened to this Banda guy, because he hasn't made any videos in like 2 weeks, and he kept drinking Folgers in the middle of his video, and I resisted the urge to tell him that was going to interfere, and then, maybe he's taking a cleanse himself, tolerance break, but I enjoyed his work. And so, it's like Christmas lights when you can turn on your higher heart, your higher chakras. Your chakras turn on like lights. You get feelings, intuitions, instincts. When you feel your heart brain working, functioning properly, and again, eating a lot of omega-3 fatty acids. Actually, eating fish is really good for your heart. I don't eat it very much because I don't like to eat the animals, and I use bone broth to heal, and it can be really healthy. However, again, the karma of strangling a chicken or killing chicken is just so I do that rarely. I believe that the chicken placenta or eggs I consume daily, that the certain farm, they love their chickens and they're free roaming, organic. So all those are important factors. And again, I'll be the first to become a vegan. when they can scientifically prove to me that they're getting all the nutrients such as cholesterol that the brain needs to function healthy, and I just don't believe in the body, and I just don't believe they have it. At least 96% of them do not get. I don't know if they can figure out how to make cholesterol out of seaweed, and which they have figured out how to make many of the other essential nutrients out of seaweed. So hey, or they're already in it. The B12 is already in there. So I mean, they're going well in some ways, but I mean, look at the anger they get. A lot of anger because when your brain doesn't have cholesterol, it can lead to a lot of anger because it needs that to feel. Your brain needs cholesterol to feel safe. Actually, it's one thing. It's one factor. A lot of vegans, what a problem they have, and your hormones. I don't see how your hormones could probably, especially as a woman, if you're a mother. I mean, it can cause massive disruption. To be a vegan at that point. But when your heart is functioning properly, it's like when you know how to do a proper meditation, Kundalini exercise, or the silent A. Or it's similar to when you have an orgasm or when you take a hit of the finest bubble hash. You feel the bliss tingles up your spine. You feel when your heart is properly functioning, it can give you the spine all the spine tingles. When your heart, is the gnosis of your heart is properly functioning, you can discern how you feel about people in a paragraph or two. Often, you get messages about this person, you can't trust them. This person is amazing, and but the pressure, like when you feel a pressure in your heart, you'll notice that when you're being materially or by a tyrant boss, for example, or spiritually by your roommate, spiritual or physical or financial oppression can make the heart feel oppressed, a pressure. So when you learn to respect your heart, then you could be drinking coffee and instead of having that feeling that like it's going to clench up the blood vessels and cause you to have a heart attack, with proper reframing, with the proper relationship to your heart itself, you can calm it down and stop that. But situationally, for me, all of my mental and physical problems and illnesses and diseases, so-called, have been related to the heart and totally exasperated by stress, like everything is, of course. Do the negative alien approved diet block your free will intentionally, your intuition, and your respectful connection to your higher soul or spirit guides intentionally? Do you think getting us to eat fast food, GMOs, hydrogenated oils? And what's interesting, folks, is through lawsuits, some of these issues have lessened through lawsuits, through commercial public action lawsuit. Safeway used to be full of products that had hydrogenated oils, and now very little of it. Why? Because so many obese people went in on a lawsuit. Ron DeSantis used lawsuits to stop some of the Nazi New World Order plans. I've been doing 26 years of dietary experiments on this body. I quit sugar. I learned to never eat harmful oils. The worst I'll go with is some sunflower oil in this hummus, or safflower. I don't even like to do that. I'd rather stick with coconut oil. If you have olive oil, most of our olive oil is rancid. You need to make sure it's not rancid. It's rare, but it's possible. Fish, eat a lot of hemp if you can find it. But again, if it's not moldy. I like to drink eggs. I'm experimenting in my awareness. The result, taking a lot of probiotics. But we have a lot of disruptors right now at work in this war. Of course, pharmaceuticals can completely disrupt your intuitive brain, your heart brain, or your gut brain from functioning. Geoengineering, space fence. Heavy stress, of course. I don't even know what the hell I feel when I'm heavily stressed out. Which is why, allowed the dark ones to influence me to get the CIA guy to flip me off the other day. So when you have heavy stress, they want to come in, and not only them, but all the physical parasites too. You see, the astral parasites are step one. They easily grow your cancer. They easily grow your candida. They easily grow your MRSA. No problem, as long as you let them in. Or just being really angry, resentful, having all the negative emotions such as jealousy, anger, resentment. It can really keep your immunity system, your heart, and gut brains from functioning properly. When you're stuck in the lower base fight or flight of the base or second chakra, with the cortisol always shooting in your brain, if you're stuck in survival mode, it doesn't really work very well. Coffee and cannabis have a great amount of antioxidants, and they can really help. You can become dependent, as I've said. But they say that the tannins in chocolate, if you don't eat sugar with it, if you're lucky enough to find stevia or xylitol or erythritol sweetened chocolate, organic, or make your own, that tannins really helps your gut. It turns out the coffee, as I said, has the tannins or the antioxidants in it. Some of the antioxidants, they help your gut. And I believe they have telomeres and bitters. So just like that I'm in the tent now and the synthetic polyester, there's been several times when I had to go call my mother's sister and get antibiotics because I had mutated strains of normal staph that had grown rapidly that eating a lot of turmeric didn't get rid of. So I'll tell you right now, there are times when you may need to use an MD to get rid of some of these things, but it's very rare, okay? And it'll destroy your gut microbiome after you go on antibiotics. Of course, so you have to double up on the probiotics while you're on it. But it's super rare that I'll ever do that. Very rare. But I'm just telling you, people, I'm not Mr. Know-It-All. I'm not telling you I'm in perfect health. I'm trying to explain what I've learned. So what's a really wonderful thing they just discovered, real scientists the last several years, it's called the microbiome. Now we have a gut microbiome. You'll recognize that as I was previously discussing prebiotics and probiotics. Now they discovered you have a skin microbiome, and I read this book. I think it's called Cleanse, and this man who actually worked with the WHO just on public sanitation project, an MD in New York from Nebraska. He actually went with like showering like once or twice a week, and like washing his crotch every day for like a year after he got his MD, and he wrote a book about it. And he said he knew people that had terrible skin conditions. So, and some would say that the way I go with a gallon of hot, almost boiling spring water now, if I had the sun bath to go with it, that it would be. Some believe that would be better. I don't think it's better. I would be better off with more water. So, but on the other hand, it's a very interesting theoretically because he documents actual cases of people with horrible skin conditions that wouldn't go away with excessive washing and commercial products and unfiltered water when they put a filter and they wash very minimally and help to make it go away. So there's probiotics, and there's people that have said, this one guy on YouTube said he got rid of his MRSA with the probiotic skin thing. So it's very fascinating new part of this subject of human bodily health is also that your skin is the biggest organ and it has its own microbiome. So ITOL intelligence and the negative alien agenda, super agenda. They want to parasitize you with frankenfood, self-replicating nanobots, space fence, lower your immunity with fake immunity, right? The idea that it's going to come from this is like, yeah, right. But the ITOL intelligence is about morality. What's helpful for me has been sunshine, sunbathing, organic food, raw foods, respectful thoughts, Thanksgiving daily, pure oxygen. And I do actually agree that the body is like a machine, but it needs ITAL, organic nutrients.